Good afternoon. Let's see what the excavator crew achieved today, and I'm going to show you also what Angel and I did. Angel and I made a hole. You can see the tape measure in there. That is where the grey water will leave the bathroom of the Cortijo. I'm going to show you the other side in a moment. And the excavator people, they built this ramp here so that the dump truck will not get stuck. And they are filling this up with the material that's being taken out of the future pond. They have to raise this quite a bit. And then we can build the container workshop. So one container here on the top, the other further down, and the roof between them. And we also measured the drop for the water, because in there will be a septic tank, and we figured out it's actually being on top of that stone, so that stone does not need to be demolished, and then the water will find its way out there to the grey water pond. And besides that, I can also show you what is happening here. So here they are leveling this. So this is for the concrete slab. So this basically here is the lowest point of the slab, and everything else will be risen. And then the water can shed from this place. I don't see the construction of the workshop. Now we are way behind schedule, so this is something for autumn and winter, but this year. But the slab will certainly be built. So basically once they are done with the leveling work, they will then compact this somehow and then actually pour the slab. So that's real. And the other thing that's also nice is up there, you can see that there we have a camera and a Wi-Fi access point. So now we have Wi-Fi in more places. And the camera has a wireless uplink, so this thing there at the top, this small white towery thing, it's an access point but also a bridge. So it bridges the network through the air to the house where the actual wired network is, and where the Starlink antenna is also connected to. So that means there is only electricity there in the Cortijo, but no Ethernet cable to have a network there. Which also means once you guys, the volunteers, are here, you will also have connectivity. And I can also mention that I've been in touch with the electrician. He is currently, unfortunately, with some back problem in the hospital, but wants to come next week to do more installation inside, and we're also busy with that bathroom. And next I will show you what we did. So first of all, there's a little bit more chaos here on that table. You can see this here. This is outdoor Ethernet cable. Then we have a crimping tool here to make connections. There are the connectors, and there is a tester. So you connect the cable that you just made to both ends of this, and then you can see whether the cable is good. And we got also a few new tools, new toys, for example this one here. And in there is an oscillating tool that came today, and other small things. We also got ourselves a much better shovel here. This is not wood, therefore it will not break. So let's go in here. Let's turn on the light so that we can see. So this pile here was on the wall in here. So there we removed all this. Yes, some movement because there is a rat here, but that rat will soon be gone. Yeah, it's in there, in that box. There it is hiding. But currently we have a hole there. So there is no point in trying to get rid of the rat just now. So that's a hole, and this is where the grey water will then leave. So basically the sewage. And in there, where this is marked, there will be a toilet seat. And here, where that is marked, will be a double shower. One and another one. And over there you see another marker line. This is to wash your hands. And up there it's kind of shelving. So there you can have a few bathroom utensils. And the ceiling eventually will be insulated, and then we will have some wood ceiling there after the foam. But when you guys show up here, this will not be done, so it will be like that. Cleaned up, of course, and the whole thing will be painted so that it looks nice. And here we will have an extractor, a ventilator, an exhaust fans that will move from smelly air to the outside. So this is going to be the bathroom, and the idea is that two people can shower at the same time. So there is quite a few positive things happening, and everything should be ready. So now that I have shown you the inside of the Cortijo and a little bit the prep work for the concrete slab, let's now walk over there and see what the guys have been doing with that pond. And what I can mention while I'm walking to there is that I got in touch again, or they got in touch with me, with Live Terra, about the saplings. So they will arrive the week before, apparently April 5th. And we also will receive some nutrition for those saplings. They will also ship this to our place ahead of time. The BCS tractor has not shown up here yet, but it is in Villanueva de Córdoba at the workshop there. So they just need to bring it here. The irrigation material has been shipped today in Barcelona, so this is also on its way. And on April 9th, the two guys from Live Terra will show up, and they bring with them a TV crew from EFE. So I am not sure what EFE exactly is, but it's a TV crew, and they want to film how things go, and maybe also do some interviews. So at the very least they want to speak with me. And yeah, so this is going to be quite an interesting start on April 9. And now let's check out the pond here. And there was a question by someone in the comments of the last video about lining the pond. And no, these ponds will not be lined, because this one here is to work as a sediment trap. So whatever material comes in from the neighbor's land, which is the catchment area, is full of sediment because there are no structures. So all these ideas about leaky weirs, that is something that the neighbor would have to do, but he doesn't. And so we get all the sediment, basically his good soil. And this should not fill up our irrigation pond, which is the second pond, the one that you have seen already. And this one here is to catch this and then let the clear water flow further downstream. So we don't want to line this. Things should seep in, and if it seals by itself, then so be it, but we will not do anything. And in other cases, when we do an irrigation pond, we try to connect it to the groundwater level, and therefore lining is also something we don't want to do, because we want the water to seep in. So it's basically like a shallow well, but very wide and very large. So it's a totally different concept, and I think that works well in our situation. I can already see that we do have a pond-like thing there, because I can see water. Let's check this out closer. That pile there in the background, by the way, that is topsoil. And he does not want to use the topsoil as fill material. He wants to go deep and then move things again. So there we have a pond. This is quite interesting, because there's still some water coming from up there, and that fills it. So a little bit of moonscape, but he is digging out, and then he will shape this to give it a nice look and be prepared for a riparian area. So here you can see that is the material that he likes to take out from down below, but interestingly you can see some water there that is seeping in from the ground, which is very interesting. So it's not that deep, but yeah, that's apparently the water level in this area. And the other part there, this is more sandy, mineral-like. So that is what he wants to use to fill the platform for the concrete slab. So there he comes again. And you can see how large this is going to be. So all the way up there where he already did something, all that will be part of this concept. This is our area A7, where Life Terra will help us to plant 28,000 saplings. And if you are interested in lending us a hand, then you are invited as a volunteer. We will provide transportation from airport or train station and provide you the food, a room to sleep, either in a hotel if you choose this, or in our Cortijo, or you can pitch a tent and get all the services that you need for that. We will have a shower available and of course a toilet. And while we are planting, there will be catered lunch. And later we can go and visit a bar if you still have energy left that you would like to spend. So you are invited to help us, probably for a week or two or maybe 3, to get these 28,000 saplings into the ground. The event will start on April 9th. You can arrive on the Sunday before, that will be April 8th, and you can stay for as long as you like. And we definitely do appreciate your help, and we will answer in kind by feeding you well and hopefully making you happy. So mark the date and send an email to the address shown here, and then we will coordinate this. This certainly looks a lot better than as we left it. On top of that there will be the same stones as there to the left, and we try to cover the whole area with those stones, so that later in between the two containers, left and right, we can have a concrete slab when we so desire in the future. But for the moment it's important that we have 2 resting points for containers, so that we can also build that roof in between. which, by the way, is something that we are going to do first and then build the other workshop. We have 3 months delay, and it makes more sense to do it that way. And due to the heavy traffic, this whole thing, this ramp here, the entrance basically, is also in a lot better shape. It is heavily compacted, unlike the things where I was just walking. This is muddy and loose, while over here they added material and compacted it, and that way this is now a lot better. And this is for vehicle traffic. And here the platform for the slab is also a lot better compacted. It looks pretty even, and there will be something on top of it, some stone, and then the concrete slab. And of course they also need to install the piping so that the grey water can leave the place. They will finish this with a slab that has two drains in the center, and then we can take over when we are ready to actually start building. Depending how much fill material we have left, I will go and check out the pond work in a moment. We might want to move this sand here. So the right one is fill material for trenches, and the left one is the mix ready to make concrete, so that we can extend this to build here in the future the slab for the house. So the workshop will end there where that marker is, and that's the priority. But if we have material left, then of course we can use it here instead of letting it sit somewhere else where we don't want to have it. Of course we don't have any animals except the 3 horses, so I might be mistaken, but I can't shake the impression that all that pooping from the cows that we had before somehow left a positive effect. It appears that this time all these plants are growing a lot taller than they used to before. Of course the frequent rain also helps, but it also requires nutrition, and I have that thought that maybe this has been improved by our past activity. So it wasn't worthless, just the contrary. So as was the thought, he dug a few deep holes to get to the bad material that is good for fill, but bad for the pond. And now he's shaping the pond with the other material. He also saved topsoil before digging and already distributed this a little bit. So this is now taking shape. And in order to give you a little bit orientation, I'm now standing in our so-called best paddock, A15. And to the left you see the wall. That is the divider between us and the neighbor. And now I pan to the right, and you see the seasonal creek, which leads the water to the big pond there behind the solar panel for the pump that is inside the well. And then we have this water tower here. And now I'm panning further to the right along that seasonal creek. There's that boulder, and now we come to the new pond that is being created at the moment. There you see the break in the wall where that seasonal creek comes in. And the catchment area is all the neighbor land there on top. As you can see, there's still this deep hole, and he's carefully removing this so that we have a shallow pond that is pretty wide, so that it acts as a sediment trap. And the berm that someone else created there in the past stays intact. we get a very nice shape. And we will plant the vetiver when there is an opportunity around it. And also, as for autumn, add all the native species that the riparian area here in this area usually has. So that this becomes a nice habit. So that's another project. The only bad thing is this, and I'm wondering what we can do to make this nice and repair it. Because if we just leave it the way it is, plants will come in from left and right. But maybe there is something that we can do that is a little bit smarter. I'm not yet sure. Maybe you guys have some ideas. Let me know in the comments down below. But maybe we just put a few shrubs here between the oak trees as an extension. We'll see what can be done. certainly see that he has shape in mind that he is trying to achieve. He has built ponds before, many times. Every single piece that is hanging here from the ceiling is accounted for individually. Nothing can escape. Each leg has a label with an identification number. Now Angel is taking one out to have a closer look. And here it is. You can see how yellow the fat is, and you can also notice how it has shrunk. Now the weight is significantly less than when it was fresh. When you start cutting the ham, it is important to keep this fat in order to close the cut surface again, so that it won't dry out. To get your own leg of ham, you can head over to our web shop and order some. There are two options for you to buy the ham. We offer envelopes with 100 grams of hand-sliced pieces of ham. And there is the full leg. In the case of a front leg, it's about 4 to 6 kilo each. Families in Spain keep the leg in the kitchen and everybody cuts off a slice whenever they are hungry. I'm trying to think out loud a little bit how this area could be planted. So there on that bank I can see several rows of vetiver grass, and also here on this area to stabilize this slope, and in that case it would prevent the flooding of the area behind it, or at least slow it down when there's a lot of water rushing in. And there I can see another Miyawaki style plantation, so to say, and also along that stone wall, and there a lot more vetiver grass certainly, and maybe one or another tree and a few shrubs. And here I'm not yet sure. Let's see how this shape's going to look like.